Good morning, Centerville, and welcome to the Coffee at the Continental Show. We're here to get you up and on the go. So come on down and have an espresso or a simple old cup of joe and watch a Coffee at the Continental Show. Good morning, Centerville. Good morning, good day, good latte. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Centerville, Iowa. Doug Sy from InCentervilleIowa.com, and this is a special edition of our YouTube show to gain awareness and support for the from the community on the Appanoose 10-10-10 project. Bill, thank you so much.
You bet.
For taking some time out of your day, and thank you for taking the initiative to start this project and get community involvement, because we needed it. We needed somebody to say, hey. And there's a lot of community leaders out there like yourself, but you stepped up first, and that was awesome. So I was really excited to see that. And when I first saw your first Facebook post about it, I was like, okay, I knew he was going to have something for us, and he was going to, he was going to have an idea, and was really excited to be at the Continental last week and hear what you had to say. So.
It was great to have you there. I'm getting a lot of credit that isn't due me, because everybody was saying the same thing. I just happened to be the one that said, okay, let's rally.
Right.
Let's get all these people together. And as you know from that meeting, it was a great meeting.
Yeah, a lot of great people there, and younger people as well. So so that was just awesome. It was really good to see the statistics on paper. And I really appreciate the fact that people took the time to gather those so we'd actually have those. And just by reading those articles in the newspaper alone, a lot of people, that's all they read. They didn't see they don't see the statistics in those articles. It just says we're last, and that's scary for a lot of people. So while now seeing these statistics, they aren't so bad, it doesn't mean we can relax at this point. It means we really have to be proactive here, because we have a chance to really hit this thing head on and really try to improve the community. And of course, those statistics, which make us look at this poor and whatnot and unhealthy.
Exactly. It's hard to talk about. People like things to be simple.
Right.
They like black or white, or this side or that side, and they like, we tend to be a polarized group of people that like to pick our side and then root for that team. But our situation's actually not that simple. And in the end, though, when you average the statistics together, there are three that we're in trouble for. You cannot argue our household income is lowest in the state.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. If that income was higher, all of our other statistics would probably follow along with it. Also, you can't argue that when you look at our overall health, which is a very complicated set of matrix that they pull together to average, which has to do with things that aren't specific to our health. They're not just measuring our height and our weight and whether we smoke or not, or whether we drink or not. They're measuring all kinds of social dynamics and strategic indicators that they can tie to that. So employment plays a role in that, and incomes play a role in that. Use of government subsidies plays a role in that. So all of those go into that. It's like your tax return. If you really do a tax return well for a business, it's complicated. There are a lot of different forms, and you have to understand the rules. So we just have to break those things down into little pieces, understand them, and then work with them the best we can. And like you say, in some cases, we're not doing poorly if we can break that specific unit out. But we also don't want to use that as an excuse to not act.
Exactly.
Because, people tend to say that's somebody else's job. And in the first part of the 10-10-10 project is bottom 10. We want to leave the bottom 10, but that's kind of a negative motivator. The real goal is we want to be in the top 10. We have the assets to be in the top 10. And we have Rathbun Lake, 11,000 acres of the cleanest water that is in Iowa. We have a $50 million destination resort project there. We've got a couple marinas out there. Then you move into town and you see the world's largest town square, and I know that people will argue that well, maybe it's not the largest, but as far as a county seat town square, it's huge.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
and it's basically full. We have over 400 people that work within 1 block of the courthouse.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
that is a lot.
And it's nice, but we can often get distracted and say, well, we're good enough. It's good enough for who it is. I have a brother-in-law that likes to say that it's good enough for who it is. And I think sometimes we feel that way about ourselves. But we've got to raise that standard. We've got to quit finding ways not to act and find reasons to act. You need to make more money. I would like to make more money.
Right.
Everybody wants to make more money. We need to make sure everybody's making more money. They find more ways to do those things. You're a perfect example. When you did the InCentervilleIowa.com website and started to do advertising associated with that, it's the first true social media advertising effort Appanoose County's executed. And it's you, not the county, but it's you doing it in the county. And when you do that, you help drive traffic, you help increase incomes, you get more income. Everybody wins.
Right.
And that's what we want. We've got to move away from those conspiracy theoried rumors. Nobody wins if everybody gets paid less. Some people want to use that as an excuse, but the banks certainly don't win because their primary factor that they look at is deposits.
Right.
If you don't make money, they don't have deposits, and that's where their greatest income comes from, is having money on deposit and then reloaning that money. They have to have people that are making money that deposit it, and they have to have people that are making money that want to borrow more so they can build homes and they can do different things and they can loan it back out.
Right.
Nobody wins if we don't have jobs. And we get so distracted by that stuff. We just have to focus on our goals and try to get there and stay the course and not quit just because we might not agree on something.
Right. The local economy since Rubbermaid left, did it really fall tremendously with that? How many people do you think suffered, and do you think that was a big factor in us dropping the way we have, or
I think I get where you're going. We've had bad things happen, and we've had good things happen. We didn't suffer the economic impact that I expected when Rubbermaid closed, but we also picked up Lee Container. Barker Company expanded. We had some other things, good things that happened here. So I was a little surprised because I try to track retail sales in the county to see what our county's health is, and we didn't see the decline that I would have expected. Especially when you take the number of employees and what their wages were. If you just wipe those out and multiply that times so many times to see what the dollar impact is, we didn't see it. It actually was a much softer landing than we expected. But then again, we have a lot of people that would like to blame our condition on things like that. We had our meeting the other night at the hotel, and there were people still wanting to talk about Iowa Southern Utilities not being here anymore.
Right.
It's been 20 years ago, and we've got to be looking forward, and we've got what it takes. We've got people coming through. We have corporate people that are here. We've had some people here that everyone would, if they didn't know them, they would know their work. Visiting.
Right.
So there's some interest here. We have Tom Bentley, who's not from here and happened to be hunting here once and said, hey, these guys have something going on down here. I want to invest. But we're missing that ourselves still. We have to start getting on the bandwagon and just demanding more of ourselves.
Now, do you think we're going through a phase now from converting from a factory-based town or manufacturing-based town to more of a tourist destination with the resort? And I know that with your efforts with the Drake project alone, that's been incredible for the community, and I believe the summer will really pay off. I think that's really going to draw some traffic here from the resort. Do you think that's where we're headed, and do you expect that to be kind of the
new leader?
Yeah, the new, yeah.
It could be. We have all the resources we need to be a tourism leader. So that could be. I kind of see a multifaceted approach here. I think our number one effort should be tourism and being neighborly.
Right.
I don't think that we're going to be a Branson, although I think we could get awfully close if we rallied and did that. But there are negatives to being a Branson. And that's an interesting thing about where we're at. We're actually well placed. We're physically well placed so that we're easy to get to from a number of metropolitan areas. We also still have a lot of capacity to do some more manufacturing.
Right.
With Indian Hills and their training programs, we also have a shot at some more administrative service type businesses. You know, credit card companies and a lot of financial companies outsource things to businesses in small communities. We were doing some college things for our kids over the weekend, some paperwork, and found out that it's all sent to an administrative service agency in Illinois, and it's for an East Coast college. So
wow.
I don't think we've been as creative as we could be, looking for those businesses and trying to recruit them here because we have a lot of space.
We do now.
As you know, being upstairs in our offices here on the square, there's a lot of second and third floor space on the square.
There is.
That could be utilized for those administrative things. And frankly, there are a lot of people in metropolitan areas hungry to find a different lifestyle. They're looking for this kind of lifestyle. Well, our CFO is from a large international conglomerate and had a very important job there, and they chose to live here for quality of life. So we've got some things going on. We just have to take advantage of them, see them, take pride in them, and make them even better.
Right. Regarding this project, reaching out to the younger people in the community and gaining their awareness and support, how do you think we could best go about that, and what do you think they could bring? One of the statistics I think that we're obviously very well at is graduating classes. We're at 96%.
Right, we're in the top 10.
Right.
In graduation.
So, and education here is an amazing thing. I mean, we have a great school system here. But reaching out to them and how can, I mean, the younger people, I think, could have a tremendous impact on what's going on here. I think if of course if they raise the bar themselves, which I don't know if they can much more than they do other than outside of education maybe, but how can we utilize that, or what do you think their part could be in this?
Huge.
Right.
I mean, they could actually take over. That's the most exciting part of it. I was thrilled with the number of 20-something to 30-somethings that were at that meeting, and the number of emails I've gotten from them. But social dynamics are changing. What's most exciting is that they're well educated and they're interested in being here, and a lot of them have been out and now want to move back. They're getting married and they have children, and they're thinking, hey, I think I want my kids to go to school back here where I went to school because it's a good school system, all things considered. And we do well in that category, so why not? And they're here. Gosh, I'm not sure where to go with that. They could just do the whole thing. They could take over. They understand social networking. They understand everything about the internet and internet searching or web using the internet to do everything. We're talking about finding statistics, measuring statistics, comparing ourselves to other places. It takes no time if you know how to sit down at a computer and do a few searches.
Right.
We can have everything. Plus, we can sell ourselves. How do you best get the message out? Social media. Who knows social media the best? The younger people here.
Yes.
What are and if we can find some things, I think we can make this a big win for them. I hear from them. We need more things to do. Like what? Let's be specific. What could we use? And how can we make more money? How can we help them make more money?
Right.
But I think that's where the horsepower is all in the younger, that 20-something to 30-something crowd. Sadly in today's society, I think they tend to feel powerless, and especially in metropolitan areas, there's just not a lot they can do and feel directly impacted, or like
Right.
directly impacting that as much as they'd like to. Great thing about our rural community is that they can do a lot, both intellectually and physically. You know, we can do a lot here
Yes.
and really see the result. So I'm hoping we get a lot of them.
The next step, you've gathered a bunch of data from all the people that have come, and you're probably still gathering data from people that couldn't make that meeting. Where are we going? We're kind of
Where do we go next?
Yes.
You're right. I got a lot of information, and I haven't been good about, you know, so far I'm doing everything myself, so I haven't been good about sorting it and taking that next step. I know what the next step is. Right now, it looks like we may try to organize one more meeting similar to like we had at the hotel.
Okay.
The night we scheduled that, about half of our list could make it, and the other half were a little frustrated that they couldn't make it. So we're missing some data. You know, we had the data collection sheets at that meeting that everybody filled out and turned in, which were great, but that was only about half. Then we had the other half that we didn't get all that information from, and I've got, you know, it's what, 10:30, 11 o'clock on a Monday morning right now, and I've had a number of emails this morning. Hey, I didn't know about this. I just got this forwarded to me, or I just saw it in the paper.
Right.
I want to be involved. So how do we engage them? So next thing I think is to facilitate a much larger meeting, similar but different format, because it'll be a lot more people.
Right.
And take one final effort to get involved and to get people involved and get that data. But, you know, more specifically to your question, the next step after we know who we've got, what their strengths and interests are, is to break out all of these statistics and choose the ones that we have the most mass to take care of. You know, if you're interested, if one of those goals is social media, you might be on a committee that helps promote a positive message using social media. There are other people that like to just gather statistics, so they might find ways to automate a statistical measurement system so they can keep telling us every month or every quarter how we're doing toward achieving our goal. And there are all kinds of statistics. The bottom line goal is that we're going to break those out. We'll decide what those are. Each statistic has its own name, and I've been using the analogy of a ladder. And so that ladder has a name with either 99 rungs for every county in Iowa, or 88 rungs for the rural counties of Iowa, and we take our place on the ladder. And then we try to climb that ladder one step at a time. We just want to know who's the next rung ahead of us, and what do we have to do to take their place.
Right.
And we'll just climb that ladder that way. For example, we are number 99 in household income, but we're behind the number 98 county by a little over $300. So, you know, can we do something to lift ourselves from 99 to 98? You bet. And the question is, what do we do to increase incomes more than what they're going to over the next year, and by that $300 and some dollars?
Right.
You know, maybe a 1 cent raise for everybody in Appanoose County might take that.
Might cover it.
Absolutely, and we might make it just by noticing that it's that way. So that's what we're going to do next. One big meeting, get our final organizational stuff in order, and then start breaking out in ad hoc committees to start trying to impact those statistics.
I think we're going to do it.
I think so too.
There are a lot of excitement from the people that were there in the first meeting, and just so many people outpouring since they found out about this. I actually have a couple people that I need to pick up paperwork for today before I leave here that couldn't make it as well from you. So, and that's just been awesome, because when you see when something like this comes to light and you see a community pull together that quickly, you know that you can climb that ladder, because there's that many people willing to put forth the effort. Yes.
Absolutely interested.
All right. Well, anything else you want to add?
You know, there is one thing. As we do this, it's very important that we all keep a very positive attitude and look at our own work and make sure that our work is having the impact that we want. I'm sure that as these committees break out, there are going to be committees that have different ideas on attacking the same problem.
Right.
And I want to make sure that to communicate. It's important that if you, for example, let's say that you are on a committee to go after a specific statistic, and I'm on another committee that's going after the same statistic but has a whole different concept. Neither committee should be damning of the other's effort.
Right.
Because ultimately, we're those committees that may challenge each other a little bit are both heading toward the mountain, but from opposite sides. So if we've got a problem, that problem can't slip around us as easy when it's surrounded.
Right. Okay. I see.
Does
what
that
you're
make
saying.
sense?
Yes, that does make sense.
I'll give you a good example is that there are some areas relative to our statistics that are due to bad behavior. And there's a group that says we should be intolerant of the bad behavior. And our intolerance will either motivate that bad behavior to stop or motivate it to leave. But there's another group that says we need to raise our people up. We need to provide them with tools that they can do better. We need to help them live a better life, help them find a better way. Well, these two groups could be critical of each other and say, your way's stupid, my way is the best way.
Right.
But they're not right now, and I'd like to see it stay that way, because what I think will happen is if a group pushes from a position of intolerance, that creates some motivation to those that are behaving poorly.
Right.
And if there's a group on the other side that says we need to lift people up, they'll be there and available
To help those
to help
people.
them when they're motivated.
Right.
And then there is that. There's and maybe this will be a controversial topic. There will be a central group that chooses not to be motivated, not to pay any attention to the group that are applying pressure, and not want to accept any help. And I don't mean just financial help. I'm talking about raise your own standard type help.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if they're that way, they're probably going to find it uncomfortable. And those few people, which I think is going to be a tiny percentage, those people will leave.
Right.
It'll just be too uncomfortable to live here. And we will have done everything we can to motivate them. We will have done everything we can to help them. And those two groups, by supporting each other and not damning each other's efforts, I think we'll see just wonderful results.
Right.
Sometimes I can't get that word.
Yeah.
My age. That's why we need younger people too.
Yes,
so that
there we
they
go.
So they can speak and their minds work.
Speak a little better than us when we get old. Bill, thanks so much.
You bet.
And look forward to meeting again and discussing more on the project.
Great to have you.
Centerville, you're doing a great job. We're gonna make this happen. All of us together. Take care.